Hello chess friends and welcome to Zadov's chess channel and welcome to my Basics in Chess series. So in this series we're following opening principles, middle game strategies and the endgame strategies. Today we'll talk about some defensive strategies again. So I've created so far 3 videos from in the series how to defend yourself in chess. So this is now our 4th video. So I've created this playlist so you can check out also my previous videos from the series. Today's subject will be how to unpin yourself. And the pinning idea is the most common played, I think, idea in chess because pinning is good. Of course, you're creating some dangerous attacks. You basically are forcing one piece to play defensively against your opponent. So what we want to do when your opponent plays a pin against you is not to weaken the pawn structure too much, because if you weaken the pawn structure too much, then of course you could create new weaknesses. Then this other bishop could maybe get into the game very actively. Then maybe there are some tactical threats. I've seen now many times if you push pawns in front of your king, for instance in this position, what you shouldn't do is to play maybe something like h3 g4, because in some occasions after bishop to h5, let's see now possible continuations after h3, bishop to h5, here we have g4. Maybe in some occasions you see that black will even sacrifice the knight and then stay with this powerful bishop here against your knight on f3. So this is not a way how to battle against this pin. So there are better ways, and if we evaluate this position, this is a position played by Lila C0, the top engine, against another top engine of Jade. The problem is now, this is now Rui Lopez game that has been played. The bishop is far away from the action, so we would love maybe to bring this bishop somehow into the defense. But the queen is a little bit stuck here because it's the only defensive piece. It protects, of course, the knight on f3. And if we escape here with the queen, maybe queen to c2, I'm sure that black will simply take after bishop takes f3, g takes f3. We have a new position in which we again have a weakened pawn structure in front of our king. Maybe black could try something like knight to h5, knight to f4, cementing here this knight, and maybe get the queen somehow into the game here to h3. So there are too many attacking possibilities now, and that's all possible because we have now really this bad pawn structure in front of the king. So this is not the way how to defend here. As I said, h3 g4 is not a powerful idea, so escaping with the queen is also not good because you saw also this positional and tactical problems. The best way to defend here against the bishop is pawn move here with the move h3 and a knight maneuver. So let's see how Lila C0 handled this positional problem. So first of all, knight to d2. So if black wants to take now the knight on f3, then we can play knight takes f3 and continuing the game with the bishop pair, which is of course very good in an early stage of the game. You shouldn't give up your bishop pair. Here in the game, queen to d7 was played, and we have now h3. After bishop to h5, we shouldn't, again I'm pointing out, play this move g4. There is a better way how to escape from this pinning idea. Maybe we can find another plan, and the main idea of whites is to play more freely with the queen. That's the main point of white. So we want to play sort of liberated. We want to queen to be liberated, and now how to proceed here. So the best way is to play rook to e1, liberating first this a square on f1 for the knight, and then attack the bishop further with knight to g3. So after castling, we have knight to f1, rook to e8, and now knight to g3. So again, the bishop is attacked, and basically black is forced to retreat with the bishop to g6. So now we have escaped out of the pin. And the good thing is that we have improved the position of our pieces. So this knight is now perfectly fine on g3, although we have played many moves, but now we have new possibilities to play maybe a knight outpost on f5. We have also possibilities something like knight to h4, maybe knight to g6. So there are many now possibilities, but you see we got out of the pin without further weakening the pawn structure and still improving the position of our pieces. So again, if black takes here, bishop takes f3, it's not a problem because we can simply take queen takes f3, and still we would have this powerful knight outpost on f5. So in the continuation of the game, I'm going to show you now a couple of moves here. D4. So you see now Now we get our plan going. We can play in the center. We have still these powerful knights, which are of course controlling the center. So you see, we haven't weakened the position by chasing the bishop here. Now the bishop is basically out of game. It's blocked out by this pawn on e4. After b5, we have bishop to c2, a common idea in the Rui Lopez. And here after e takes d4, c takes d4, now we have grabbed some space here. We have now this pawn central control. This pawn's of course controlling this 4 centralized squares, and this is a comfortable game for white. I'm not saying that you will win this game immediately because you have kicked out the bishop, but I wanted to show you a good way how to escape from the spinning idea, because many times I've seen this h3 then followed with g4, and then we get some sacrifices, knight takes g4, bishop takes g4, and similar ideas, and you get attacked. You don't know what to do. So here is a way how to escape from this attacking idea of your opponent. So let's see now another example. It's a game played by Wesley So against Magnus Carlsen. Again, you see Wesley So gave up the bishop pair. He has given up his light square bishop for the knight. What Wesley So has gained here is of course a weakened pawn structure. We have first of all here this double pawn structure and also a weak pawn on e5. In the game, Magnus Carlsen, after knight to d2, played on this idea to play bishop to g4, also pinning. The problem is now c3 wasn't played in the game. Maybe the queen could escape here to b3, but Wesley So found a great way how to escape from this idea. h3, again bishop to h5. Here in the game, knight to c4 was played, again with the same idea to play knight to e3, knight to f5, and knight to g3. Again, sort of a maneuver of the knight without playing this move g4. This could be really a problematic thing if you weaken the pawn structure too much. And now after knight to c4, we have a knight to d7, a3, we have a6, and now b4, kicking away the bishop after bishop to a7. Now Wesley So played a very nice move, bishop to e3, bishop takes, knight takes e3. After f6, we have knight to f5, queen to f8, and now again knight to g3. Here, of course, Magnus Carlsen played bishop to f7. This is still a good bishop's activity. It controls, of course, a very nice diagonal. But at least we got out of this mess. We got out of this positional mess. Now it's time for us maybe to occupy here. Knight to h4, f5. In the game, after the move queen to d2, we have g6. And here Wesley So simply opened the position with the move f4. He had really a winning position, lost the game eventually. That's not the point here of this subject. Here I wanted to show you how white got out of this mess, got out of some tactical possibilities of blacks, has still a good position with these two powerful knights. Of course, also a very nice control of the f-file now, and has really a comfortable game. So, as I said, this is sort of a maneuver. We are trying to get this other knight to g3. So that's the main point of this defensive strategy. We should search a way how to get our knight to g3 and then kick away the bishop. So first h3, then waiting your opponent to play the move h5, and then cement the knight on g3, kick it away further. The bishop has to move to g6 or f7, and I think after that you can play on our main strategical idea. For instance, in this game it will be maybe c3 d4 or other great ideas in the chess game. So okay, I hope that you realize these ideas. This is not something I think that's tough to learn. Try it out sometimes, because you will get pinned many times in chess. Try to play on this defensive strategy without further weakening your pawn structure, without creating double pawn structures for yourself in front of the king, because if that happens, if you for instance get here a double pawn structure in front of the king, then you have several weaknesses. For instance, the weak square on f4, the weak square on h4, then the weak pawn on h3. So you shouldn't do that. Kick away the bishop like this, and I think I can promise you will have really a comfortable game. So okay, I hope that you realize these ideas, and I hope that you enjoy this video. Meanwhile, you can watch my other defensive strategies so far that I've analyzed, and you can also watch my Basics in Chess series videos, in which I show you opening principles, middle game strategies, and the end game strategies. So far I've created more than 140 videos in this Basics in Chess, so maybe if you want to learn something, you can also check it out. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thank you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.